All right, AP poll is out today. Texas is number one. No shocker. Penn State comes in at number two. There was some debate whether it be Penn State or Ohio State. Well, Penn State comes in at number two. Actually, just with two less first-place votes than Texas. Texas got 25 first-place votes. Nittany Lions got 23. Buckeyes are third. They got 11 first-place votes. Clemson, number 4, with 4 first-place votes. Georgia, number 5, with 1 first-place vote. Then it's Notre Dame 6, Oregon 7, Alabama 8, LSU 9, and Miami 10. Other Big Ten teams, Illinois is 12, Michigan is 14, Indiana is 20. I think that's it.
That'd be it. Is there anything that sticks out as a surprise to you? Because we could talk all day until we're blue in the face about Ohio State and Penn State. If the college football world here in 2025 just wants to keep believing that this is the year for Penn State and James Franklin, where they're going to walk through that door and do something big. I am sorry. It's almost like where we were with Ryan Day and the Buckeyes last year. I was to a point where I needed to see it happen. Now, I think I got there once they blasted Oregon the way that they did, because they were 2 legs down of what was going to be a 4-leg run to the college football playoff. And I think a lot of us also, we kind of understand, we knew what Ohio State was supposed to be as a team. And once they did that against Tennessee, you're like, okay, they look like they're back. When they did it again against Oregon, I think a lot of us were saying, that's the team that we all expected. That's the team we think that the NIL dollars brought in, and they should win the title. We have never seen Penn State do that, though. It's been a long time coming. They've gotten their crack at Ohio State. How many times under James Franklin? It's been at least 10, right?
10 or 11. At least
10 or 11. He's won one time.
Yeah.
One time. And he's had a lot of teams that were capable of beating the Buckeyes, but he never could do it.
Talking about this with Rittenberg last week before his phone crapped out. You know, if not
was
now.
He on the highway?
He was in, like, rural Connecticut or something.
Rural or rural?
Rural?
Rule?
Matt Rule.
Matt Rule, Connecticut?
There. Yes.
Rural.
Rural. I can't say that. Rural.
That's a tough word to say. I can't say inquiry. You can't say rural.
Rural.
I can't say Colorado. Flute boy? This is what you're hearing, Ted,
flute
underneath
boy.
all the commercial
Where's
spots?
all the flute's coming from, flute boy?
It was just in my head.
You be my flute boy?
Did you watch The Patriot this past weekend?
I
it on
guess
your
so.
mind?
Yeah, it was in my mind.
Anyway.
Whistling Dixie
If not
over there.
now, when? You have the best roster in the Big Ten on paper, right? Penn State does.
Yeah, they do.
And he said, barring, like, catastrophic injuries, there is no reason why Penn State can't be the best team in the Big Ten.
I will backtrack, though. I don't want to just give Penn State the best roster over Ohio State, because even though the Buckeyes lost a lot of guys, they still recruit more consistently. They will even go into Penn State and take a lot of guys that Penn State wants to recruit. So just because they sent a lot of guys to the NFL, the Buckeyes replenished.
I understand
They still
that.
are really
But
deep on the offensive line. They might still have a better roster.
If the talking heads, Penn State has a first-round quarterback today. Has an experienced first-round quarterback today. They have one of the best defenses in college football. You've got a coach.
They got Jim Knowles now on their side.
Well, see, and I don't know what that means.
And, is he going to be able to implement that in year one? Because I think a lot of the talk when he came over from Oklahoma State, he didn't really have to have that havoc type of defense that produced all those numbers. That's what got our eyes all big when he came over from Oklahoma State. But you're not dealing with the same kind of athlete across the board. So I think there was a system where he wanted to implement what he was doing, but sort of pull back on the reins with taking those risks and have guys learn their spots. And they kept things in front of them. They didn't give up boatloads of points. They also didn't get a ton of sacks and forced fumbles and interceptions. Now, Penn State also has really good defensive talent. So I wonder if it's going to look essentially the same as that first year at Ohio State for him.
My big concern with Ryan Day is that he almost gets too emotional for that Penn State game, because I think when he gets too emotional, the team suffers. Now, they won that game in South Bend, but they really won it because Notre Dame didn't know how to play defense on that final play. It was much closer than it needed to be. Ryan Day was wrapped up in emotion that
with
week.
The Lou Holtz
trying
stuff.
to avenge the loss and the Lou Holtz stuff.
Like to know where he is right now.
Right, all of that. We've seen it against Michigan where he gets too emotional, and I think it affects the way that he calls a game and coaches a game. And now you have a situation, even though he played very nice when he was in here talking about Jim Knowles, there has to be some sort of resentment there.
I would hope so.
Right? And
all the way that broke down when they were having their celebration.
But I hope it's not to
Knowles
the point
said.
where, because he said it about Michigan, I'm going to hang 100 on Jim Harbaugh, and then he can't go out and win the game. He can't beat a team that is inferior to his. I hope he doesn't coach too emotionally against Penn State and let that get the best of him, because you're right. If you let your horses go out there and win the race, 9 times out of 10, they're going to take care of business.
And you hit on it. So, what's the common denominator? If this is the best roster that we've seen Penn State have, even though I don't want to put them ahead of the Buckeyes just yet, this would be the year. The common denominator, we know what the answer is. It has always been James Franklin. And is James Franklin holding them back? Is it just that they can't get beyond a certain level?
They won 2 playoff games last year, but they're the most meaningless playoff victories you'll ever see.
And they're only
Penn State fans will tell you.
They have to have an elevated system too, right?
Yes.
Like that's something we at least looked at Penn State in the beginning. All right, Ohio State was the team last year in the Big Ten that needed a 12-team playoff this first go-around to get in. So at least we can say that, and we can look in the mirror, and that was us that aided. But then again, we're sitting here, we're cheering for the team that actually won 4 straight games and won the national championship. They got that ability to do so. Penn State had every opportunity to go and win that national championship last year, too, and they couldn't do it, despite losing to the Buckeyes.
Ryan Day adds to his coaching staff. Details coming up next. Colin, Man, and Timmy on the Fan. All right, Ryan Day adds to his coaching staff. Now, the season starts in like 3 weeks, so this is sort of an odd move. At least the timing of it is weird. Former Dolphins defensive coordinator Josh Boyer is joining Ohio State's staff. So there's that. He served as defensive coordinator for the Dolphins for 3 seasons from 2020 to 2022. He has experience working with Matt Patricia.
A lot of it, too.
Yes.
Right? More than a decade?
Yes, he was on the Bill Belichick
Patriots
coaching tree and all of that. He's from Heath. So we don't know what he's going to do.
Right, because he would have to slot into one of the analyst roles at this point.
Yes, right.
Because
but I don't know
you
what
only have a certain allotment for official, full-fledged, on-field assistants. But honestly, the way that the rules are changing every single year, it seems, we're so caught up in transfer portal rules and NIL and how we keep advancing the goal line for what the college football playoff numbers are going to be. Our heads are kind of spinning with what the current rules are in college football for the things that are deeper into the weeds like that. When you talk about, is it 11 assistants? Are they going to add a 12th? They could do that. I mean, I think in college basketball, it went from 3 to 5 somewhere in the last 3 or 4 years. It just sort of happened overnight, and before you know it, you have an entire bench filled with coaches. So it could be more or less of that, but I think it's something that will just help the comfort level of Matt Patricia as they get the ball rolling and what this defense is going to look like.
Let's talk about the Pied Piper of the SEC Hillbillies, Paul Finebaum.
Paul
Finebaum was on the Netflix Sports Club podcast. He was asked by the host of the show, is an SEC team going to win a national championship this year? He said, yes. And by the way, if it's not, I'm leaving the country because I'm so sick and tired of being harassed by Big Ten fans on our show. The Big Ten has literally done nothing. They've won 2 national championships. Michigan won one 2 years ago. They won 1.5 national championships, I think. And before that, in 70 years. And they act like they invented football. All right, let's dig into that. First of all, Paul Finebaum knows where he makes his money, and that's the Hillbilly South. That's why he's the Pied Piper of the Hillbillies. I also take great pride and joy in the fact that Big Ten fans are calling in and disrupting his show. That makes me happy. I did get a kick out of the Big Ten thinks they invented football line because, I mean, college football was first played, we can use the word invented, I guess, at Rutgers.
Which is also funny because the fact that the Big Ten would be claiming that as them when they were not in the Big Ten.
Doesn't matter.
Not even close to being in the Big Ten. It's like Maryland being in the Big Ten.
We bought all those memories.
Bought the rights?
We bought them.
We own them.
They're in our library.
We own Eric Crouch at Nebraska.
We own all
We
of it,
own
baby.
Frazier. We own Tom Osborne. That whole
We own the sitcom
catalog.
Frasier, too. All of it.
So when we're paying royalties, we pay him back to those
Yeah,
schools.
it's like they invented the game of college football.
No damn
I don't
time.
know why Anthony Rothman got here. Hey, guys, how you doing?
The other thing that Paul is, the other thing that he's brilliant at, it's not just catering to his audience, it is saying things that will incite. And that's exactly what he is doing right here.
Absolutely.
He is trying to drive another stake. It's pretty easy to see. You've got two conferences that are head and shoulders above the rest in college football. And I really do. I can actually acquiesce here because when it all boils down to it, Ohio State is, over the last 20 years, Michigan, when, the cheating started, they seemed to take a step closer to being competitive on that level too. And you could also do a deeper dive, deeper analysis, and look at how mid-level Big Ten does against sort of mid-level SEC when they get into those bowl games that not a lot of us are really paying that much attention to. And the Big Ten has more than held its fair share. But Ohio State, we know, can compete in that conference. But if it comes down to national championships, then, yeah, they're right. They've had multiple teams rise up and win them. You've had your run with LSU. You've had Auburn have the run. You've had Georgia have the run. You've had Alabama have the most dominant run in college football history.